Network. It's time for our cash tag segment. For that, let's bring in our next guest. That's going to be Andy Swan, co-founder of LikeFolio. Welcome back to the show, Andy.
Thank you.
All right, so we're talking Meta Platforms, just off all-time highs. It's had a nice run, but Andy, these guys are spending so much money on AI. You hear all these stories giving $100 million bonuses to try to get people from OpenAI, but that's maybe okay if you've got 3.4 billion monthly active users on your platform and a majority of advertising dollars are going your way, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's how much money is too much money to throw at one of the biggest problems and biggest opportunities in the world if you've got the biggest audience in the world. And I think that's exactly where Meta is. They're eliminating traditional ad agencies. Their Advantage Plus ad platform is exceptional. And, by 2026, we could have, entire ad campaigns completely automated in terms of generation by Facebook for small businesses and large businesses alike. And that's an extremely powerful place to be, because what it does is it takes a lot of the cost burden off of their customers and allows their customers, instead of spending money on design and figuring out the best calls to action, etc. It allows them to spend that money on ad placements inside of the Meta ecosystem. And you nailed it when you talk about Meta as kind of the gravity well of online digital advertising. It's very clear when we look at the mind share that they have in this space in digital advertising. There's Meta, which is larger than Google, and then there's just kind of everybody else, which are very small dots. And so, Meta's definitely in the driver's seat here. The one thing that, if you just look at the data alone, could concern you is the growth rate of those smaller players is starting to really ramp up. Reddit, very high. Pinterest seeing gains. Meta falling off. But actually, when we looked into this, the data showing Meta falling off in terms of web visits to their ad manager platforms, a lot of that fall off is actually a good thing, because it's their customers having to log in less in order to spend more. And again, this goes back to that entire promise of why they're investing so much in AI, because what it's doing is it's empowering their customers to do a lot less and spend a lot more on the platform for a much higher ROI, which ultimately is the winning hand in the digital advertising space. It's really tough to see how Meta doesn't continue to win from here.
Yeah, the growth rate it's almost like that law of large numbers at this point, because Meta platforms across all their platforms is so big compared to those other competitors. It's almost like that AWS versus the other cloud providers. It's just a law of large numbers at this point. But Andy, when you look at it, you mentioned, if a customer doesn't have to go on that digital ad platform as much just because it's already automated and they're putting more AI into it for that return on investment, when you look at this, it's almost like it's okay for them to give these star players in the AI space, these developers, that money, right? Or are they going to spend too much? Because the return on investment so far in AI for a lot of these big tech companies has been minuscule at this point. It'll continue to grow as it gets better. But is that payoff going to be there according to your data where, hey, nobody's leaving these platforms? We know that, right? So they're always going to have the eyeballs, and that takes care of it, right, Andy?
Yeah, I think it does. I think, and you also have to remember, Mark Zuckerberg has had an entire career of investing too much money, or of trying to parlay what he has too aggressively over and over again. I can remember when Instagram for $1 billion was extremely controversial, as perhaps he paid too much for that, and now it's an enormous majority percentage of their eyeballs and a lot of their revenue. So this is a founder that in a founder-led company that simply sees opportunities as a chance to lever up the advantages that they have. And Facebook has extraordinary advantages. Meta has extraordinary advantages. And, where's the money going to go? It's going to go where the highest ROI is, where are you going to be able to deliver the highest ROI? It's the platform with billions of users that has the best AI tools for advertisers to target those users and deliver relevant messages and offers. So I think they're betting right. I don't think that they can spend too much on this opportunity. It just seems like they're in the driver's seat and they're just hitting the gas a little more. And shareholders have to be at the point where they just, in Zuck we trust. It's just the way it's going to be until someone else takes the helm.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. The hits versus the misses from this company. You know, the misses, the big one, Metaverse. Yeah, they dumped a lot of money into the Reality Labs. It's not paying off. But then, you know, buying Instagram for $1 billion, that's, you know, what a win. And then WhatsApp, and then, you know, just the eyeballs that they have. If you guys had an earnings score on this one, Andy, because it is just below all-time highs, it continues to move to the upside. But, you know, if advertising keeps up, it doesn't feel like this stock should go lower because it's not like overvalued on a valuation basis.
Yeah, I mean, it's always possible you're going to get pullbacks, but I think you just have to put Meta on your list of, you know, anytime it pulls back 7 or 8% from all-time highs, I'm going to pick up some shares. Stocks at all-time highs that are truly great companies, and especially I think founder-led companies tend to continue to make new all-time highs, and I don't think this one's any different. So buy the dips until further notice.
Buy the dips till further notice. I love it. All right, great stuff as always, Andy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, that's Andy Swan, co-founder of LikeFolio, breaking down Meta platforms. And, you know, historically, whenever we talk Meta with those guys at LikeFolio, they have pretty positive data, no different today. So I looked at a strategy, kind of sets up with what Andy said on any pullbacks. Well, this is a strategy that, hey, it's just below all-time highs. It's not immune to market moves. So if we